hate you, illegal immigrant motherfuckers.
It wasn't Hitler who came and stole people away. No, it was your neighbors, the baker down the street, all the working people in the society who were told, now you are the master race. Now you're better than these people.
CNN polls prove Americans want every illegal deported.
Sometimes I like blunt questions because they sort of get at the underlying feelings that people have. So this is about as blunt a question as you can get. Deport all immigrants here illegally. I will note the ABC News poll asked about undocumented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deport all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times.
So overwhelmingly, most people want to deport all of the illegal aliens.
I really hate surveys like this because you can't see the questions that were asked. You have to know what was asked because that affects the results dramatically. And these statistics are just a bunch of these surveys we know nothing about, shoved together, and that's stupid.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
Well, there you go.
So this is what I've said before, right? The entire idea that this is an unpopular opinion is bullshit.
ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing essentially here is very clear.
Why does he look like that?
Feelings towards immigration in this country.
This is what's crazy, is that deport all undocumented immigrants. And you remember in 2016, like Trump didn't even say that, and people were getting mad at him. But now, look at this. It has almost, well, not really almost, but it's gone up by like fucking 50% almost.
What? 20% is almost 50%? Is he retarded?
This is a crazy increase.
Feelings towards undocumented.
This is not a crazy increase.
Undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them.
This is an increase over from 36 to 56. That's an increase over 8 years. That's like 2 presidential terms.
Have become considerably more hawkish, and I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people. Exactly, they want less people.
36% to 56% is a 55% increase? Oh my God. So people, okay, actually, you know what? We're not even going to talk about math.
2023,
not
back to 26.
That guy was making fun of you. No, that guy was making fun of you.
When Donald Trump again was running for president the first time, it's 38%. That's a 17-point rise. So the bottom line is...
A 17-point rise in 1 year is fucking ridiculous. This is the reason why they can't stop.
More
immigration only helps the rich. You're right. The only people that benefit from mass immigration are business owners and politicians that are able to capitalize on the votes. Those are the only people that benefit from it. The average American worker does not benefit from it.
They don't vote. Illegal immigrants and undocumented immigrants can't vote. And what is this idea that these people are somehow going to benefit from these people's votes? Do they think illegal immigrants are going to vote in their favor?
Class people don't benefit from it. Working class people certainly don't benefit from it. The only people that do are upper middle class and upper class people that are able to exploit that labor. That's it.
People.
Exploited labor, everybody benefits from exploited labor, even if it's bad, right? I mean, that's why the whole South had a civil war over exploited labor that was running their entire economy. Do you think that the only people who benefited from that were like all the rich people? What about the people who were buying cotton for cheap?
Who are here illegally deported, and their overall feelings towards immigration have become considerably more hawkish.
63% say they're okay with deporting immigrants who are here illegally and arrived in the last 4 years. 87% are good with deporting immigrants who are here illegally and have criminal records.
Well, yeah, if they have criminal records, everybody's going to support that, obviously.
87%. Literally, imagine going against something that has 87% support.
Who was going against that? Obama was deporting like crazy. Even Biden was deporting tons of people.
So if you bring over a guy from India and then you're able to pay that guy from India the same wage as that you're able to pay an American, the guy from India actually has an advantage over you. And let me explain the reason why. There is an extra level of job security or security that the employer has that Indian worker will maintain and stay at their job. And they will probably tolerate higher degrees of maybe mistreatment. They might tolerate higher degrees of overworking. And the reason why is because they don't want to lose their visa. So whenever you have something that you can hold over their head and then use that as leverage to make them do things that you want, then yeah, absolutely, that plays a huge role.
Sure, but the opposite is also true. You have to now sponsor this person for a visa. You have to be able to actually give them this job. The job has to be well suited for this person because it's not cheap. It's not an easy thing to do to just sponsor somebody to come in and full job position because now you have certain responsibilities for that person. And he makes it sound like the person who's coming in doesn't have access to all the legal channels that we have access to and wouldn't have access to HR and wouldn't have access to all of the resources that a regular employee would have access to in those kinds of situations.
It does. Threat to deportation if they lose their job, exactly. So that's the reason why. So even if you're competing on a completely even playing field, like systematically that person has a more appealing, like who do you want to, like this is a good question, right? If you're an employer, who do you want to have work?
If you're an employer, you want somebody who's local, who's dependable, and you can count on to do the job in your area. If you can't find that, then you go and get somebody from like with an H-1B visa. But that's not really the norm, because with an H-1B visa, you do have to sponsor this person. You do have certain responsibilities for this person. You have to make sure that they do have adequate living, that they can eat, that they can get to work, that they can do all of these things. You are literally subsidizing this worker to come work for you because you don't have cheaper alternatives in your area. That's the whole point.
Working with you, right? Do you want to have the person working for you? Do you want to have the person that can quit whenever they want and just go work somewhere else? Or do you want to have the person whose entire life is tied to your company? Well,
this is such a simplified way to look at something to make it fit your own worldview. I mean, Asmongold is clearly not a smart person.
you want to have the person whose entire life is tied to your company, because that person is going to try to work harder and you can take advantage of them more easily, and they don't really have a recourse for it as much. Armed protesters,
They have the same recourse as anybody else at that same company who is a U.S. citizen.
Can I see an ICE agent? You shouldn't do that. They threw a
They shouldn't do that. Why? Go ahead, just say what you think, right? Say what you think. You think those people should have been shot. Just say it. Just say what you mean.
You got these animals going crazy?
You know what the First Amendment is? Yes or no?
They threw
No, they don't.
a frozen ice brick at the car.
Take off your vest again.
The poor ICE agent. They threw frozen ice brick at the car. Oh my God. Is it because we shot one of them?
The shame show is retarded and cringe. Well, I think that it makes a lot of sense. These are people whose ideology and their entire worldview is derived from Marvel movies and popular media. So it would logically make sense that a movie scene that was very well seen, it was very popular and, you know, well established in Game of Thrones would be the way that they see the world, because they're looking at it through the lens of just basically TV shows.
I feel like his entire worldview has come from like shows and stuff where evil people are easy to like empathize with or see it from their perspective, and maybe they're not so evil after all, and actually it's the other people who think that they're evil that are actually evil because they have their own agendas, while the evil person was actually just trying to like save their country or uphold their own sort of moral standards that maybe we can agree with also on some level.
They think it's a TV show.
I've spent my entire adult life in law enforcement, and I have never heard of one law enforcement agency not helping another when they call for help.
It's ridiculous, you're right.
Until this weekend, when a chief of patrol where the Chicago Police Department instructed the police officers not to run in and help their colleagues who were calling for help, who were under attack by a bunch of people clearly violating the law. That's scary.
That's not scary. That's the whole point of having states separated from the federal government. That is the entire point of states' rights. If you think that's scary and that shouldn't happen, then you don't want states' rights, and you wouldn't even be a Republican at that point. I mean, not in the traditional sense. You're still a Republican because you're an idiot, but not a traditional one, that's for sure.
It is. You let the mob decide, and people are going to get killed.
Let me give you the antithesis of that. We had a single man.
How many ICE agents have been murdered by mobs versus vice versa?
Resist ICE agents and get away from
Why does he do that with his eyebrows? Why is he so gross and disgusting in every possible way?
them in our
One guy.
community. We sent a helicopter, a drone, K9, and 50 law enforcement officers to surround an area, and we found that guy.
Gotcha, bitch.
Can I understand what is this music that he puts on the background of his video? Does he think he's like some sort of medieval like peasant or something?
Yeah. Holy fuck, man.
Holy fuck, man. Shaw, dude.
Who violently resisted ICE, and we locked him up in jail where he should have been.
Oh my God.
If you allow anarchists and criminals,
Like, it's so weird because this is the kind of person who would always say that the other side is being emotional and they're not thinking logically. And he's like, oh my God, this is so based. Oh my God. Oh, that's so amazing. Like, he's giddy at the thought of like a power-hungry government coming in and like screwing up with people. I feel like that's the basis of all the video games that Asmongold plays, where it's like a tyrannical government that comes in and starts killing people, and he's like the player, and he's living in that world. He's living in that world right now.
To run wild in your community.
Yeah.
People will die.
Exactly. You can't let that happen. You aggroed the Florida police. Not the most efficient way, waste of resources. It is the most efficient way because you're not thinking about the future things that they don't have to do because they've done such a dramatic show of force that people realize that it's not worth trying to escape.
Does he not realize he's shortcutting his way into stealing everybody's rights? Like, what's the point of having freedom of speech? Well, if you have freedom of speech, then people can say something that's bad in the future, and then you wouldn't like that. So may as well just take away their freedom of speech today so you don't have to worry about what they'll say tomorrow. You know, actually, this person, he doesn't seem to, like, agree with my ideology, so maybe in the future he's gonna have a movement that goes against my ideology, so I may as well arrest him today so that he doesn't make that movement that I'm not gonna like tomorrow. This is stupid.
You're only thinking about it inside of the context of the individual action and not what that action...
That's exactly what the law is supposed to do. And if you think about it outside of that individual action, if you go back 20 years and you're like, well, this person said something I disagree with, so I'm going to look at this action more harshly, that is an authoritarian state. That's not a democracy. That is not a civil rights-oriented country. Is this guy, he's right. He has to be an idiot.
Presents as a larger, basically messaging tool to everybody else.
You need to be standing up saying the same exact thing that I am.
Exactly, 100%.
Because when you have a breakdown of the rule of law.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I agree. And it does, you can't see it, but I'm doing the eyebrow thing.
Allow anarchists,
Booth clowns,
criminals to take over the streets and attack law enforcement officers and then not send them help. That's a slippery slope.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to see this, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you know, I was born in Florida, you know?
I can tell. I find it really amazing because I could easily believe that there's 4 million idiots just in this country alone. But I feel like for all of them to come and gather in one channel, that's pretty impressive.
That's a slippery slope. A real slippery slope.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to see this, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you know, I was born in Florida, you know?
It don't matter, fucking bitch. You ain't one of them fucking things around here, ho. All these fucking illegal ass immigrants in this motherfucker, and I gotta stand outside? What, legal? Fuck you, white bitch. I hate you, illegal immigrant motherfuckers, and I hope I get you bitches. Take you back to those shitholes. And I'm gonna see you again, my nigga. Shit show, you hear me? I'm gonna make sure you mind your fucking business. Bunch of fucking illegal immigrants.
This is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany, where it's a famous quote. It wasn't Hitler or Gibble, or whatever his name was. It wasn't that guy who came and stole people away. No, it was your neighbors, the baker down the street, all the working people in the society who were told, now you are the master race. Now you're better than these people. As soon as you think one group of people is beneath you, you have a problem, you've created a problem, you've created a class of people just so you can discriminate and force your own ideology onto your country.
Justified crash out. I'm going to say it. Justified crash out. You have this shit happen. You've been to a hospital. This is the way it is. It is. Like, he's right. And he is so right about this. I like to see this. Fucking finally, man. Racial buff.
I'm sorry. Is this an emergency room? Because that guy looks fine to me. So if there's illegal immigrants in there and they need help, maybe they need help more than this guy. If this is just like a regular clinic, maybe they had an appointment. If this is like a walk-in clinic and all of these people walked in, well, it's first come, first serve. If these were all white people, would he not care? Would he still be just as upset that he had to go wait outside because he came after these people? I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. He should have called ICE. Yeah. Are you experiencing long wait times in the emergency room? Well, look around. Are there people that aren't speaking English? Call Immigration and Customs Enforcement right now, and you can save up to 1 hour in the emergency room. 1-800-ICE. It's a great idea, yeah.
How easy is it for him to say something like that? To not understand anything about human history, human nature, or just how easily it is that he could be on the receiving end of this one day. Because you were lucky enough to be born this way, or in this country, or in that country. And suddenly you think you're better than some other group of people for no other reason other than where you were born, how you grew up, all of these things. This is a very stupid and dangerous idea to have.
And yeah, we joke, but what's this here? Couldn't he do that? Maybe he could. I don't know if he could or not. I don't think they just show up and be like, all right, where's the Mexicans?
Well, that's because you don't think at all, but that basically is kind of how it works right now.
People go, you can't say that. You can. I did.
I didn't. Damn, I burned my fucking hand. Look at that. Can y'all tell if I burn my hand just a little bit? And a librarian, 2-8, who appeared to call to assassinate Trump, has scrubbed her TikTok and has went private on Instagram after we exposed her every time. Well, I can know where she's probably not private on. Uber Eats.
Everything is funny and based when it's on your side, But I'm pretty sure there were lots of people who were calling for Joe Biden to be killed, and lots of members of Congress who were Democrats to be killed from the Republican side. But he would never condemn any of those people because they're on his side.
LMFAO, it's been revealed that the Georgia high school where students staged a mass ICE walkout only has 6% math proficiency and a 16% reading proficiency. Not shocking in the slightest.
This is where Asmon Gold is getting all of his information, isn't it? He just scrolls X. He has so many X tabs open. They're just all open here. I should stop calling it X. It's Twitter.
Try it. We're skipping. We're skipping. We're skipping a lesson to teach you one. Good one. I hate to say this, guys, but I would totally be a part of this if I was in high school. I would. Like, any time that there was an excuse to not go to class, I would take it. Like, after
You see, this is how he justifies their actions and their numbers, by lowering it down and saying, well, I would have done this too, because I would have been either stupid or I would have just wanted to skip class or whatever.
September 11th, I said that I was religious, and so they would let me go and leave so I could say prayers for the people that got killed. I just wanted to leave class so I could go to the vending machines.
This is such a projection, saying, oh, well, when I was their age, I was a terrible person, so all of them are terrible people.
Yeah. Understandable. Man. The thing is, they probably let the kids do this, too. It turned out. It's loud.
It's such a moment of double thought where, on one hand, they don't have any empathy in terms of these people think this way or they think differently than me, and I should be able to respect all of these people for having their own diversity of thought or whatever. But on the other hand, they have a lot of empathy for their own views. They have so much empathy for their own views.
Did I spell any of the words right? They got something in Spanish. It's hard to say. Don't you think it's problematic that schools are a breeding ground for propaganda? Of course, that's why I think we should propagandize them differently. As I said before, we need to get every annoying SJW Karen teacher, and we need to replace them with a former military veteran. That's the solution, is that we get these obnoxious Karens out of the schools, and we replace them with combat veterans. And after that, all these kids are going to sit in their seat, there's going to be no problem, they're going to learn what a triangle is.
I think the combat veteran would learn just how outmatched he is by the students.
They're going to understand the Pythagorean theorem. They're going to know...
Does he understand the Pythagorean theorem?
...what a percentage is.
He thought 20% was close enough to 50%.
They'll be able to divide by fractions.
Can he divide by fractions? I somehow doubt that.
And they'll sit in their fucking chair. That's what they got to do.
I mean, I guess if that's his entire job, Asmon Gold is pretty good at sitting in his chair.
That's the solution.
Even when a cockroach falls on him.
We had teachers, and we would just say, shut the fuck up, bitch. We are going to listen to you. You think we're going to listen to you? Shut the fuck up.
He never said that.
And then there were other teachers that we'd say, like, sir, do you need help passing out the... Oh, yeah, sure, I'll help you pass out the books.
No, he never did that. Again, just what is this music?
What is this? Who's this? Who's this?
He's just stupid. He doesn't know any of the facts. He doesn't even go through any of the facts. He just reads the headline and he believes the headline instantly. And then all of his viewers are just sheep who believe him too. Of course they think that. They think CNN is liberal propaganda when it's so much the opposite. They try to be so centered and so tame and so both-sided that I wouldn't believe... I don't even believe the 55%. I think that's too high. I don't think people care that much. Stay away from Code Geass. You are an idiot. You don't understand Code Geass. You are the furthest thing from Code Geass ideology that I could possibly imagine. You being this close to a masterpiece of an anime poster is actually an insult to that anime.